Hello, fans. This is Crow for Sports Crapology. Watch us on YouTube and follow us on X. So we're doing previews of the NFL, the No Fun League, and we're up to the AFC North right now. And so I'm going to give you my predictions on the AFC North. It's going to be kind of wacky. You're going to think, what's this guy's lost his mind? But you never know. I might be right at the end of the season. So the AFC North is the Cincinnati Bengals, the Baltimore Ravens, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Cleveland Browns. So I'm predicting that Cincinnati Bengals win this division. The Ravens come in second, the Cleveland Browns third, and the Pittsburgh Steelers last. So I'll tell you why the Cincinnati Bengals win the division. On defense, they were 29th in the NFL last year. That's not why. That's terrible. It's awful. I think they make a huge improvement this year. It's their second year with defensive coordinator Al Golden. He's built a lot of defenses in his days. The defense at Notre Dame is basically schemes built by him under Marcus Freeman. They brought in some new personnel. They've got a good run defense, 4 defensive linemen that can stop the run. And then they've got a couple good pass rushers in Shamar Stewart and Cassius Howell. On the outside, they can bring in on passing downs. And I think they're going to play a lot better defensively. They brought in some new personnel, I think, in the secondary. They might have a new starter in the secondary. So he's got some depth back there in the secondary. He's got guys that have played. I think there's only one rookie in the secondary. So I think their defense is going to be much improved, a lot better. Their offense, I think, is going to be much improved. And I think I'm counting on Joe Burrow playing the whole year. Joe Burrow is one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm counting on him not getting injured this year. So, Dan Pritchard's their OC under Zach Taylor. I believe they'll get better. He's still got Jamar Chase. He's still got T. Higgins. He's still got Zovis. He's still got Gesicki at a tight end, and they've got Sample at a tight end. They drafted a guy named Colby Young out of Georgia. That's a good wide receiver. He's a big guy. I think he's about 6'4". He's about 6'4", 220. So, Burrow has enough targets. And then he's got Chad Brown running the ball in the backfield with P. Ryan and Taj Brooks. So they got 3 solid running backs back there. And I think they're going to score a lot of points. And their defense is going to be okay. And that'll win them a lot of games. They're going to win a lot of games, I think, like 35-21, 35-28, stuff like that. 31-28. Second place in the AFC North is going to be Baltimore Ravens. They were number 22 in defense last year. They were very poor against the pass. They have Jesse Minter now as their new head coach. Their new defensive coordinator is Anthony Weaver, formerly with the Dolphins, I believe, the Miami Dolphins. They have 2 new experienced defensive linemen they brought in. They brought in a linebacker. They drafted Zion Young out of Missouri. That's the linebacker they brought in. Good linebacking prospect. I like him. He can get to the quarterback if he wanted to blitz. He can stop the run. He's fast. He's young. He's big. He's strong. He's athletic. All that stuff. All that good stuff that they say about those superstars coming out of college. He was one of the best college linebackers. I like him. All right, they brought in 3 new defensive backs, and they drafted a defensive back. So they turned over that defensive backfield that was really bad against the pass last year. So there should be an improvement there. I don't think they'll be really great on defense, but I think they'll maybe be around number 15, ranked 15th in defense. They were number 16 in offense. Lamar Jackson didn't play every game. And I think that's going to be their problem. Experts will tell you the offense relies on Lamar Jackson, but I don't think it does because I think Lamar Jackson's beat up. I think he has back problems. I think he's going to get hit a few times and knocked out this year. And I think it relies on how well Todd Huntley plays in his place. And I think Huntley will be fine. He's got the big running back there, Henry, and they have Justice Hill to catch the ball out of the backfield. He's got a bunch of receivers, Jacoby Lane, Elijah Stewart, Flowers, Mark Andrews. So I think Huntley will be fine back there. I think Huntley plays most of the season. And I think they challenge for a wild card playoff spot. And I think Lamar Jackson gets over his injuries during the season. I just think that he's too beat up and he's going to be out for the season. Third place in the AFC North, I have the Cleveland Browns, led by new head coach Todd Monken. This is not Kevin Stefanski. Todd Monken, it's my way or the highway. He's going to instill some discipline in these guys. And Cleveland, I think, is going to improve greatly. Plus, he's an offensive coordinator, offensive mind. I think their offense is going to improve greatly. But on defense, they were number 4. They lost Myles Garrett. Yes, they did. But they got Gerard Verse for Myles Garrett. And he's good. He's a good pass rusher. He's decent against the run. They also have Mason Graham at a tackle. They have another good tackle. Malik Collins is coming back, I think. He's going to play some defensive tackle. They have Quincy Williams. So they should be okay, the Browns. They have a decent secondary. They have Justin Jefferson, a linebacker they drafted out of Alabama. This is one of the most athletic linebackers we've ever seen. He's one of the fastest linebackers, can jump the highest, can leap tall buildings in a single bound, like super linebacker. But anyway, he should be a pretty good linebacker. He can rush the passer, very fast, can run down ball carriers. He's going to get a lot of playing time, I think. So their defense should stay about the same. I think it should be a top 10 defense. On offense, they were awful. They were number 28. They had no offensive line and no receivers. So Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, it was not their fault if this offense did not work. They had no offensive line for them, and they had no wide receivers. They had Jerry Jeudy and the tight end, Fannin. That was it. So Todd Monken, he's got an offensive line now. They brought in a bunch of free agents. They drafted a couple guys. And they have a pretty good offensive line. They also brought in a bunch of receivers. They drafted Boston, who I love, out of the University of Washington. Casey Concepcion out of Texas A&M. They have Jerry Jeudy, still the veteran. They still have Fannings at tight end. They have what's his name? Receiver they still have, was injured last year, but he's going to be back. Isaiah Bond, he's a sprinter out of Texas. And they still have veteran Cedric Tillman. So he's got enough receivers there. He's got an offensive line to protect him. He can run also. Shedeur Sanders can scramble. Dylan Sampson can catch the ball in the backfield, run it. Quinshon Judkins can run the ball, and he's a decent pass receiver. I think Shedeur Sanders is going to start. I don't think Deshaun Watson's going to start. I think that Mr. Barry, the general manager, will want Deshaun Watson to start, and I think Todd Monken will tell him to go, you know what, and he's going to start Shedeur Sanders because he knows Sanders is a better quarterback. So, big questions are offensive line and receivers. They've addressed those. And Shedeur Sanders is getting better under Todd Monken's tutelage. So, they should be a big improvement. All right, on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think they finished last in the AFC North. They ran Mike Tomlin out of town, and they have Mike McCarthy now as new head coach. He's a terrible head coach. I wouldn't trust him with my college team. I wouldn't trust him. Maybe a high school team. But there's no way this man should be in charge of an NFL team or a college team. But anyway, he's a terrible head coach. He brought in Patrick Graham, the former Las Vegas Raiders defensive coordinator, to coordinate the defense. They have decent personnel on defense with Steelers. Graham isn't that bad. The Raider defense got better the last 5-6 weeks of the season. They only brought in one defensive lineman, though. They drafted 2 defensive backs. They signed one new defensive lineman, and they brought in 3 new defensive backs, like I said before, yeah. They have Joey Porter Jr. they think is coming back, and they think Jalen Ramsey's going to come back. So Jalen Ramsey could be coach to these corners, teach them if they have some young corners. Even the not young corners, Jalen Ramsey's one of the best cover corners ever in the game. He could teach these guys how to cover receivers. But anyway, I think they'll be semi-effective on defense, but I think they'll still be vulnerable against the pass, and I think they'll still get burned. And McCarthy will somehow screw this up. Even though he's an offensive guy, he'll somehow screw up the defense. We'll probably go 3 and out really quick, and the defense being on the field all the time. That's how he'll screw it up. So on offense, we got Aaron Rodgers, a quarterback. He doesn't have an arm anymore. He can't really run. He is brilliant, though. I'll give him that. He's a brilliant football mind, offensive football mind. I think he'll clash with McCarthy. I think they'll have big problems, and they'll have a big blow-up, I believe, in Pittsburgh. And Will Howard will wind up taking over and playing quarterback for probably about half the season. Rodgers doesn't have the arm, so if they throw it 3 yards and they're expecting these receivers to run, get a bunch of yards after catch, it's not going to work because defenses are just going to bump around the receivers so that they can't get open in that 3 yard, in that 1 second period or 2 seconds. And then what's Rodgers going to do? Get hit by the defensive line. So it's not going to work. I don't see it working. It didn't work in Green Bay. Rodgers basically took over that offense when McCarthy came in. So they won. And I see it blowing up. I see this being a real bad blow up. And Omar Khan doesn't know what he's doing, the general manager in Pittsburgh. And the Rooney that's in charge now seems to be a nut too. They should probably give him a CT scan. He's probably senile. They've made a lot of bad moves, including running Tomlin out of town. I understand Mike Tomlin. I understand why he ran for the hills. This is now just a bad organization. Howard is a good quarterback. Drew Aller's a good quarterback. But this year with Aaron Rodgers and these people, I believe Rudolph's going to get traded because he'll be worth something and somebody will want to trade for him. But I think with McCarthy there and this coaching staff isn't the way to go. Aaron Rodgers, it's all going to blow up. Like it did in Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers wound up running McCarthy out of town in Green Bay. So, anyway, that's it for Crow's Crapology. Thanks for watching us. See us on YouTube, follow us on X. AFC North, we got the Bengals winning it, the Ravens second, the Browns third, and the Steelers fourth. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. We do the AFC West, and then we'll be done with our NFL preview. Enjoy the NFL. Enjoy the Wednesday start game and all the international games this year.